Ever wonder why you reach for that extra slice of pizza, even when you know it's too much? It's like we're all caught in a tug-of-war between craving and control, feeling the weight of a world drowning in excess. What if you could eat with purpose, savor every bite, and still stay true to your goals? In this video, we're diving into the Stoic art of temperance, a game-changer for mastering your plate. From Marcus Aurelius to modern voices like Serena Williams, we'll explore how to balance desire with discipline, and we'll throw in perspectives from Buddhism, Nietzsche, and more to spark your thinking. Expect practical tools, bold challenges, and a fresh take on food that'll leave you hungry for change. This is your call to transform eating into an act of virtue. Hit subscribe, join the journey, and let's craft a life of balance together. The Feast of Temperance, Stoic balance in a world of excess. Temperance is the Stoic scales, weighing desire against discipline to craft a life of harmony. It's not about starving your soul but savoring life's banquet with restraint, ensuring every bite serves your virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life." In the realm of food, temperance transforms eating from mindless indulgence to a deliberate act of self-mastery. But how do you find balance in a world of neon-lit drive-thrus and sugar-soaked temptations? And what can other philosophies teach us about this dance? Imagine you're at a buffet, plates piled high with every craving, pizza, cake, fries. Your stomach growls, but the Stoic in you pauses, asking, "What does my body need?" What aligns with temperance? You choose a modest portion, savoring each bite, free from gluttony's grip. This is Stoicism at work, turning a meal into a moment of wisdom. As Michael Pollan says, "Eat food not too much, mostly plants." Temperance echoes this, urging mindful choices over reckless excess. Now broaden the palate. Compare Stoicism's temperance to Buddhism's middle way, which seeks moderation to avoid both indulgence and asceticism. Stoicism roots temperance in virtue for a good life. Buddhism uses it to escape suffering's cycle. Both demand awareness, Stoicism to control your choices, Buddhism to transcend them. So, what drives your restraint, building character or seeking liberation? And what happens when moderation feels like deprivation? Or picture General Ulysses S. Grant, disciplined in battle, rationing resources to outlast the enemy. The art of war is simple enough. Find out where your enemy is. Get at him as soon as you can. Stoic temperance is that strategy applied to appetite. Know your cravings, confront them swiftly, and choose what strengthens you. Contrast this with Schopenhauer's grim view, where desires are a ceaseless torment, and restraint is a futile shield against the will's hunger. Stoicism empowers, Schopenhauer despairs. Which lens sharpens your focus, mastery or futility? And how do you wield it at the dinner table? Try this Stoic exercise, the mindful bite. Before your next meal, pause for 15 seconds. Look at your plate and ask, is this portion balanced? Does it nourish my body and honor temperance? Take one bite slowly, noticing its taste, texture, and effect. This isn't dieting, it's reverence for the act of eating. As Gordon Ramsay barks, if you're going to do something, do it properly. Temperance demands that proper focus, making every meal a deliberate step toward virtue. Now, pivot to Epicureanism, where pleasure is the goal, and temperance means choosing simple joys, like bread and water, over lavish feasts. Stoicism's temperance is sterner, prioritizing self-control over sensory delight, even if it means foregoing pleasure for health. Imagine Seneca and Epictetus at a banquet. One picks a modest salad for discipline, the other savors a small, exquisite fruit for joy. Whose plate tempts you? And what's the deeper cost of each choice? Let's paint a scene. You're a gardener tending the soil of your body. Each meal is a seed. Temperance plants what grows strong, not what chokes the earth with weeds. Compare this to Kant's categorical imperative, where eating is a duty to maintain your rational self, not a personal virtue. Stoicism cultivates your garden for its own sake. Kant does it for universal law. Ask yourself, do you eat for your soul's growth or a higher rule? And what blooms from your choices? Here's the sharp truth, temperance isn't easy. It's a battle against instinct, fought forkful by forkful. The Stoics embraced this struggle. Epictetus, once enslaved, found freedom in self-control, choosing simplicity over excess. Contrast this with Nietzsche's Dionysian revelry, where restraint is a cage, and indulgence fuels creative chaos. Stoicism tames the beast, Nietzsche unleashes it. Which pulse drives you, order or wildness? And how do you balance them without breaking? This is your challenge. At your next meal, practice the Stoic scale. Before eating, ask, does this serve my health? Is it moderate? Adjust your portion if needed, then eat slowly, noting how discipline feels. Journal the experience. That's temperance, alive and breathing. As Serena Williams says, "I really think a champion is defined not by their wins but by how they can recover when they fall." Stoicism's temperance is your recovery, building a stronger you, one mindful bite at a time. What's on your plate, and are you ready to weigh it? The Stoic Table, mindful eating as an act of virtue. Mindful eating is the Stoics' ritual, transforming a mundane act into a sacrament of self-control. It's not just about what's on your plate but how you approach it, present, deliberate, alive to every sensation. Epictetus taught, "All things are ready for us if only we are ready." At the table, readiness means savoring each bite with purpose, aligning your appetite with temperance. But how do you stay mindful when distractions scream for your attention? And what can other philosophies reveal about this practice? Picture yourself at dinner, phone buzzing, TV blaring. You shovel food without tasting it, lost in the noise. Now imagine a Stoic pause. You silence the chaos, take one bite and let its flavors unfold, sweet, sharp, warm. You ask, is this fuel or filler? This is mindful eating, a rebellion against autopilot, rooted in Stoic awareness. As Anthony Bourdain said, food is everything we are. It's an extension of feeling. Mindful eating makes that feeling intentional, a choice to honor your body's needs over fleeting urges. Now widen the lens. Compare Stoicism's mindful eating to Zen Buddhism, where each bite is a meditation, a step toward dissolving the self in the moment. Stoicism uses mindfulness to strengthen your virtue. Zen seeks to transcend the ego entirely. Both demand presence, but one builds a disciplined self, the other unravels it. So, what's your aim at the table? To master your choices or merge with the act? And what shifts when you try both? Or consider General Dwight D. Eisenhower orchestrating D-Day with laser focus. Plans are nothing, planning is everything. Stoic mindful eating is that planning, preparing your mind to eat with intention, not impulse. Each bite becomes a calculated move toward health. Contrast this with Nietzsche's Dionysian excess, where eating could be a wild celebration of life's chaos, unrestrained by moderation. Stoicism tethers you to virtue. Nietzsche cuts the rope. Which pulse drives you, control or abandon? And how do you balance them when the dessert cart rolls by? Try this Stoic practice, the savoring pause. At your next meal, eliminate distractions. Take one bite, close your eyes and chew slowly for 20 seconds, noting every nuance, salt, crunch, warmth. Ask, does this serve my health? Am I grateful for this moment? This isn't just eating, it's a dialogue with your body. As Oprah Winfrey says, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. Mindful eating crafts that adventure, one intentional bite at a time. Now shift to Aristotelianism, where eating well aligns with the golden mean, neither gluttony nor starvation but a balanced flourishing. Stoicism's temperance is stricter, demanding self-control even when pleasure tempts. Imagine Marcus Aurelius and Aristotle sharing a meal. One chooses a modest portion for discipline, the other seeks a middle path for harmony. Whose approach feels truer? And what happens when balance feels like sacrifice? Let's conjure a scene. You're a painter, your plate a canvas. Each bite is a brushstroke, guided by mindful awareness, creating a masterpiece of health and virtue. Compare this to utilitarianism, where eating serves the greatest good, perhaps sustainable choices for the planet. Stoicism paints for your soul's integrity, utilitarianism for the world's benefit. Ask, do you eat for yourself or the greater good? And can one canvas hold both? Here's the raw edge. Mindful eating demands courage. It's facing the siren call of cravings and choosing restraint, not because it's easy but because it's right. The Stoics live this. Seneca dined simply, finding joy in moderation amidst Rome's excess. Contrast this with hedonism, where eating is a chase for sensory highs, no pause required. Stoicism savors with purpose. Hedonism devours for thrill. Which fire burns brighter in you, meaning or sensation? And what's left when the plate is empty? This is your summons. At your next snack, practice the Stoic savor. Take one small portion, eat it slowly and ask, is this enough? Does it align with temperance? Journal how it feels to eat with such clarity. That's Stoicism breathing through your fork. As LeBron James says, you have to be able to accept failure to get better. Mindful eating is your recovery from mindless habits, forging a stronger you. What's your next bite painting? The arena of appetite, Stoic self-control over cravings. Cravings are the Stoics' gauntlet, a test of will where freedom is won or lost. To master them is to claim your autonomy, to stand as Epictetus did. You have power over your own mind, not external events. Stoic temperance isn't about crushing desire but taming it, choosing what fuels your virtue over what seduces your senses. In a world of glowing vending machines and siren-song snacks, how do you seize control? And what do other philosophies teach us about this battle? Imagine the late-night pull of a chocolate bar, its wrapper whispering promises of bliss. Your hand reaches, but Stoic self-control halts you. You breathe, pause, and ask, does this serve my health or is it a trap? In that moment, you pivot to a handful of almonds, aligning with temperance. This is freedom, not denial, a deliberate act of power. As Dwayne Johnson says, success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Stoic self-control builds that consistency, turning fleeting urges into stepping stones for strength. Now expand the battlefield. Compare Stoicism's mastery of cravings to Jainism's ahimsa, where self-control extends beyond appetite to non-harm, even in thought. Stoicism curbs cravings to uphold personal virtue. Jainism does so to protect all life, avoiding foods tied to violence. Both require discipline, but one shapes your soul, the other the world. So, what reigns in your desires, inner integrity or universal compassion? And what shifts when your plate reflects both? Or picture General George Washington, enduring Valley Forge's hunger with iron resolve. Discipline is the soul of an army. Stoic self-control is that discipline, facing a pizza's temptation with the same grit as a winter's famine. You pause, weigh your choice, and choose nourishment over indulgence. Contrast this with Camus' absurdism, where cravings might be embraced as a defiant act against a meaningless universe. Stoicism conquers appetite. Camus savors its absurdity. Which stance fuels you, control or rebellion? And how do you stand when cravings roar? Try this Stoic tactic, the craving crucible. Next time a craving strikes, say, for ice cream, pause for 15 seconds. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and visualize the craving as a wave crashing against a cliff. Ask, will this choice strengthen me? Is it worth my freedom? If not, pick a better option or sip water. This isn't suppression, it's forging your will. As Beyoncé says, power's not given to you. You have to take it. Self-control takes it, one resisted urge at a time. Now shift to Confucianism, where self-control in eating reflects Li, proper conduct in social roles. You restrain cravings not just for health but to honor your place as a family member or citizen. Stoicism's temperance is more solitary, focused on your virtue alone. Imagine Seneca and Confucius at a feast. One declines excess for self-mastery, the other for harmony. Whose restraint resonates? And what happens when personal goals clash with social duty? Let's conjure a scene. You're a warrior in an arena, cravings as opponents circling with swords of sugar and fat. Stoic self-control is your shield, deflecting each blow with a mindful pause. Compare this to hedonism, where you dance with those swords, seeking pleasure's thrill. Stoicism arms you for battle. Hedonism joins the fray for joy. Ask, do you fight your desires or embrace them? And what victory are you seeking, health or ecstasy? Here's the stark truth. Mastering cravings is a grind. It's not a single triumph but a daily siege. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, faced banquets yet chose simplicity, writing to himself to stay true. Contrast this with Spinoza's rationalism, where self-control stems from understanding desire's mechanics, not moral struggle. Stoicism fights for virtue, Spinoza dissects it. Which approach sharpens your edge, heart or head? And how do you wield both? This is your charge. Next time a craving hits, chips, soda, anything, use the Stoic shield. Pause for 10 seconds, ask, is this my master or am I its master? Choose what aligns with your goals, then journal the moment. That's temperance, alive in your bones. As Ryan Holiday says, you have the power to choose one thought over another. Stoic self-control is that power, making you the sovereign of your plate. What craving will you conquer today? The Architect's Table, Stoic intention in meal planning. Meal planning is the Stoic's blueprint, a deliberate act of crafting nourishment with the precision of an architect. It's not about rigid diets but building a foundation of temperance, where every choice reflects your commitment to virtue. Seneca urged, let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. In the kitchen, this means preparing your meals as if each one shapes your soul's legacy. But how do you plan with such intention in a world of instant gratification? And what do other philosophies reveal about this craft? Imagine a hectic evening, hunger gnawing, and the glow of a fast food sign calling. Without a plan you cave. Now picture a Stoic counterstrike. Your fridge stocked with prepped vegetables, a pot of lentils ready, all chosen days ago with purpose. You eat well not because it's easy but because you designed it. This is temperance in action, foresight over impulse. As Marie Kondo says, the question of what you want to own is actually the question of how you want to live. Stoic meal planning asks, how do you want to fuel your life? Now stretch the canvas. Compare Stoicism's intentional planning to Taoism's Wu Wei, where effortless action flows with life's current. Stoicism plots meals with disciplined intent. Taoism might embrace spontaneity, eating what the moment provides. Both can nourish, but one constructs a fortress of habit, the other drifts with nature's rhythm. So, what guides your kitchen, structure or flow? And what happens when you lean too far into one? Or take General Robert E. Lee, whose meticulous strategies won battles. I cannot trust a man to control others who cannot control himself. Stoic meal planning is that self-control, mapping your week's meals to outmaneuver cravings and chaos. You write a grocery list, stick to it, and prep a batch of roasted vegetables, arming yourself against temptation. Contrast this with existentialism's freedom, Sartre's call to define yourself through unscripted choices. Stoicism plans for virtue, Sartre improvises for meaning. Which approach steadies your hand, preparation or freedom? And how do you balance them when the pantry's bare? Try this Stoic practice, the intentional blueprint. Each Sunday, spend 20 minutes sketching your week's meals. Focus on simple, wholesome ingredients like grilled fish or quinoa salads. Ask, does this plan honor my health? Will it keep me grounded in temperance? Shop with purpose, avoiding the candy aisle's lure. Prep one meal ahead. This isn't just logistics, it's a vow to your well-being. As Elon Musk says, I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. Stoic planning makes that choice edible, deliberate, real. Now, pivot to utilitarianism, where meal planning might prioritize efficiency or sustainability for the greater good. Think eco-friendly ingredients. Stoicism plans for personal virtue, choosing foods that strengthen your body and mind, even if it's less green. Imagine Marcus Aurelius and Bentham at the market. One buys for self-discipline, the other for societal benefit. Whose card aligns with you? And can you shop for both your soul and the world? Let's paint a scene. You're a navigator, your kitchen a ship. Stoic meal planning is your star chart, guiding you through the stormy seas of hunger and haste. Each prepped meal is a beacon, keeping you on course. Compare this to hedonism, where meals are spontaneous bursts of pleasure, no chart needed. Stoicism steers with purpose, hedonism sails for joy. Ask, do you navigate by virtue's stars or pleasure's winds? And what shore are you seeking? Here's the hard truth, planning takes grit. It's not glamorous, it's chopping carrots on a Sunday when you'd rather binge a show. The Stoics embraced this labor. Epictetus, a former slave, found power in small, intentional acts, like choosing plain bread over lavish feasts. Contrast this with Nietzsche's will to power, where planning might fuel ambition, not restraint, piling your plate with bold, indulgent flavors. Stoicism builds quietly, Nietzsche roars. Which fire burns in your kitchen, humility or audacity? And how do you temper both? This is your mission. Next week, plan 3 meals with Stoic intent. Write them down, shop for them, prep one in advance. Before eating, ask, did I choose this with purpose? Does it reflect temperance? Journal the experience. That's Stoicism carved into your routine. As Angela Duckworth says, grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. Stoic meal planning is your marathon, building a stronger you, one intentional meal at a time. What's your next charted course? The altar of gratitude, Stoic reverence for food. Gratitude is the Stoic's lens, reframing food from mere fuel to a sacred offering, a gift woven from earth and labor. It's not chasing the next bite but cherishing the one before you, as Marcus Aurelius advised. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. In eating, this means seeing each meal as enough, a chance to practice temperance through appreciation. But how do you cultivate such reverence in a world of excess? And what do other philosophies teach us about this act? Picture a simple lunch, a bowl of rice and greens. Without gratitude, it's just food easily overlooked. With Stoic gratitude, it's a miracle. Seeds nurtured by rain, hands that harvested, lives that converge to feed you. You pause, reflect, and eat slowly, each bite a nod to life's abundance. This is temperance, not as restriction but as awe. As Oprah Winfrey says, the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Stoic gratitude celebrates your plate, curbing the urge to overfill it. Now broaden the view. Compare Stoicism's gratitude to Hinduism's prasad, where food is offered to the divine, consumed as a blessed gift. Stoicism grounds gratitude in personal virtue, appreciating food for its role in your health. Hinduism elevates it to a spiritual act, connecting you to the cosmos. Both foster moderation, but one's earthly, the other transcendent. So, what stirs your gratitude, your body's needs, or a higher power? And what shifts when you honor both? Or take General William T. Sherman, marching through Georgia, rationing supplies yet thankful for every morsel. War is cruelty and you cannot refine it. Stoic gratitude is that resilience, finding richness in a humble meal amidst scarcity. You reflect on your food's origins, farmers, soil, sun, and eat with purpose, not greed. Contrast this with Nietzsche's will to power, where gratitude might fuel ambition, thanking food for the strength to dominate. Stoicism humbles you, Nietzsche exalts. Which gratitude fills your plate, humility or conquest? And how does it taste? Try this Stoic practice, the gratitude anchor. Before your next meal, pause for 20 seconds. Visualize the journey of one ingredient, say an apple from orchard to table. Ask, who made this possible? How does it sustain me? Whisper a silent thanks, then eat mindfully. This isn't sentiment, it's a shield against excess. As Denzel Washington says, I'd be more frightened by not using whatever abilities I'd been given. Gratitude uses your ability to see, making every meal a deliberate act of temperance. Now shift to Epicureanism, where gratitude for food lies in savoring simple pleasures. A crust of bread, a sip of water, without chasing extravagance. Stoicism's gratitude is deeper, tied to virtue, appreciating food's role in a disciplined life, even if it's plain. Imagine Seneca and Epictetus at a table. One thanks the meal for strength, the other for joy. Whose gratitude resonates? And what's the cost when gratitude becomes indulgence? Let's paint a scene. You're a pilgrim, your meal an altar. Stoic gratitude is the prayer, consecrating each bite as a gift, not a given. Compare this to utilitarianism, where gratitude might focus on food's societal impact, sustainable farming, fair trade. Stoicism worships at the altar of your soul, utilitarianism at the world's. Ask, do you thank your food for your life or the planet's? And can one prayer serve both? Here's the raw truth, gratitude isn't soft, it's fierce. It's choosing to see abundance when scarcity tempts complaint. The Stoics mastered this. Seneca, exiled and stripped of luxury, gave thanks for bread and water, finding wealth in simplicity. Contrast this with existentialism, Sartre's lens, where gratitude might be a defiant act against a meaningless void. Stoicism roots you in what's real. Sartre dares you to create meaning. Which gratitude grounds you, presence or defiance? And how do you hold both? This is your summons. At your next meal, practice the Stoic offering. Pause, reflect on your food's journey and ask, am I truly grateful for this? Does it align with temperance? Eat slowly, journal the experience. That's Stoicism, alive in your gratitude. As Brené Brown says, what separates privilege from entitlement is gratitude. Stoic gratitude is your separation, transforming every meal into a sacred act. What's your next offering? The long game, Stoic habits for enduring well-being. Sustainable habits are the Stoics' legacy, a tapestry of small, deliberate choices woven into a life of virtue. Temperance in eating isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, demanding consistency over flash. As Epictetus declared, no great thing is created suddenly. By rooting your eating habits in Stoic principles, you craft a foundation for vitality, not through fleeting diets but through a disciplined rhythm. But how do you build habits that endure in a world of instant fixes? And what do other philosophies reveal about this pursuit? Imagine starting your day with a simple breakfast. Oats, fruit, intention. It's not glamorous, but it's a choice you've honed, a habit forged through weeks of mindful practice. You eat slowly, grateful, free from cravings pull. This is Stoic temperance, not perfection but persistence. As Kobe Bryant said, if you're obsessed with improvement, you don't need to be motivated. Stoic habits channel that obsession, building a body and mind that thrive through steady, virtuous action. Now widen the frame. Compare Stoicism's sustainable habits to Aristotelianism, where eudaimonia, flourishing, comes from cultivating balanced virtues over a lifetime. Stoicism demands daily discipline in eating to align with temperance. Aristotle seeks a harmonious mean, adjusting habits to context. Both build lasting well-being, but one's a rigid scaffold, the other a fluid dance. So, what anchors your habits? Unyielding principle or adaptive balance? And what bends when life shifts? Or picture General Douglas MacArthur, rebuilding post-war Japan with relentless focus. Age wrinkles the body. Quitting wrinkles the soul. Stoic habits are that refusal to quit, choosing a planned, nutrient-rich meal over takeout, day after day. Each choice is a brick in your well-being's fortress. Contrast this with Zen Buddhism, where habits flow from present-moment awareness, eating what the body needs without rigid plans. Stoicism constructs, Zen surrenders. Which rhythm drives you, structure or spontaneity? And how do you sustain either? Try this Stoic practice, the habit seed. Pick one small eating habit, say drinking water before meals. Commit to it for 7 days, asking daily, does this strengthen my temperance? How does it shape my energy? Track it in a journal, noting changes in mood or clarity. This isn't a chore, it's planting a seed for lifelong health. As Serena Williams says, every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. Stoic habits make you that contender, growing stronger with each deliberate act. Now shift to pragmatism, Dewey's philosophy of learning through experience. It builds eating habits by testing what works, say, a diet that boosts focus, without Stoicism's moral anchor. Stoicism ties habits to virtue, choosing foods that honor your body's purpose, even if results are slow. Imagine Seneca and Dewey at a stove. One cooks for discipline, the other for outcomes. Whose kitchen inspires you? And what happens when virtue and results collide? Let's conjure a scene. You're a mason laying stones for a cathedral, your health. Each Stoic habit, mindful bites, planned meals, is a stone placed with care, building something eternal. Compare this to hedonism, where eating habits chase fleeting pleasures, stacking stones for a party, not a legacy. Stoicism endures, hedonism sparkles. Ask, are you building for tomorrow or reveling in today? And what cathedral rises from your choices? Here's the stark truth, habits demand sacrifice. It's saying no to the donut, not once but every time it undermines your goal. The Stoics lived this. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire, chose simple meals to stay sharp, not indulgent. Contrast this with Nietzsche's Dionysian fervor, where habits might fuel creative chaos, not restraint. Stoicism steadies the helm, Nietzsche rides the storm. Which pulse shapes your table, calm or wildfire? And how do you harness both? This is your mission. Start tomorrow with one Stoic habit, maybe a gratitude pause before lunch. Do it for a week, asking, is this sustainable? Does it align with temperance? Journal the impact. That's Stoicism carved into your days. As Tim Ferriss says, the future is purchased by the present. Stoic habits are that purchase, investing in a healthier, stronger you. What stone are you laying today? Stoic temperance is your key to mastering food, turning every meal into a victory of virtue over excess. It's about mindful bites, tamed cravings, planned plates, grateful hearts, and habits that last. Start now. Pick one practice like the Stoic pause or gratitude anchor and commit for a week. You're not just eating, you're forging a stronger you. Don't stop here. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell to join our tribe of mindful eaters. Share your journey in the comments. Let's build a community that thrives on balance. Keep practicing, and I'll see you at the next feast.